Hello, my loves, and welcome to the Wanderlust Wealth Show. Today, we have a fabulous guest. Her name is Monika, and she is the founder of RPI Education, a community for real estate investors and teaching them how to get started investing in real estate. Now, Monika is seriously a wealth of knowledge. She has been doing real estate for a very long time. But the thing that I love about this episode is we really get into what was happening before she even got into real estate. And we talk about what happens to some of us. It's like our bodies literally respond when we are not in alignment. And so for me, what happened when I was working my corporate job and I knew this wasn't right, I started just going into a deep depression. And so for her, she was literally physically ill, like truly unwell. And we also go through the common pitfalls that people have whenever they are getting started investing in real estate. Monika has literally written a book all about real estate failures. Okay, so she really knows what she's talking about. So I think you're going to love this episode. Let me know what you think. Now, let's get into it. Well, Monika, I had the pleasure of chatting with your community and being on your platform. So I felt like you had to come on mine as well because your story is so fabulous. And I think the cool thing too is you've been doing real estate for a while now. And you really took the leap when you knew you could be just doing something better. So if we could go back to before you even got into real estate investing, maybe you'd heard of it or you'd heard of something down the line, what mindset were you in and what stage of life were you in?
I think I was in just like an everyday person's mindset, the mindset that we were trained to be in. And I was not a naturally born entrepreneur, and I certainly was not a naturally born investor. I thought this was for business people and business students. I didn't see myself. I was actually a new mom finishing my master's in education.
Oh my gosh.
And so I was just really ready we were newly married, then we had our son, and I was finishing my master's degree. So I wasn't really sure. I was only in my 20s, so I didn't really know much about anything at that time. I just thought that, let's see how, life goes. And I was kind of taking it, I guess I assumed I was going to become a teacher, hopefully maybe a principal one day. And that was never really my passion. It was just sort of a career path that I was taking. But one thing I really did pay attention to was when I was finishing my 12-week practicum. And I had to take a year off because I had a new baby. And 8 months into it, I had to finish this 12-week practicum. Otherwise, I would have forfeited my whole degree. And I worked very hard. It was a 2-year degree. And so I put the baby in daycare, and I had to teach 52 at-risk youth students, which was pretty tough. But I really kind of noticed that I was not like the A+ student I normally was. I wasn't the teacher that I wanted to be, and I wasn't the parent that I wanted to be. And I always felt like I left the best part of myself at daycare at 7 o'clock every morning.
Hey girl, if you've been dreaming about building generational wealth and living life on your own terms, this one's for you. Now, 5 years ago, I was right where you are, okay? Burnt out, working a corporate engineering job, grinding with no real freedom in sight. Then I bought my first investment property, learned how to live for free, and started making money in my sleep. That one decision changed absolutely everything. I stopped relying on my 9 to 5 and eventually walked away from it for good. And trust me, I don't regret it. Now I'm on a mission to help other people do the same, which is exactly why I created Wanderlust Wealth Academy, a transformational program and community where I teach you how to buy your first or next investment property and live for free in 2025. Now, this community is for 3 kinds of people, okay? If you are stuck in a job that you don't love, secretly dreaming of more freedom, more travel, and more passive income, and you don't want to be climbing the corporate ladder for the next 10, 20, 30 years, this is for you. Or maybe you're a digital nomad or a travel girly who just wants to build wealth and create stability without giving up your freedom. Or maybe you're a business owner or high earning corporate baddie who just sees the market volatility and knows that it's time to diversify your income. If any of those sound like you and you're making at least $75,000, ideally 6 figures, and have a minimum of $10,000 that you can put towards a property, then go ahead and apply for the Wanderlust Wealth Academy. Now this is going to be a completely free call to see if you're a good fit for us and also for us to see if we're a good fit for you. You can go ahead and apply at oliviatati.com/apply www. WWA. That's oliviatati.com/apply WWA. Or you can just go ahead and click the link in the show notes. Now, spots are limited. We only take a few new folks a month. So make sure to apply now before there are no spots left. And they go pretty quick. Because my girl, freedom is so much closer than you think.
And that was really kind of that pivotal moment. I actually started having physical repercussions after that in the form of stomach ulcers. And I was like 26 years old. I was too young to be not healthy. And I just felt like I was just selling myself short in every single area. And that was the time where I really said, you know what, Vaughn, like I said to my husband, after this, I'm not working full time, at least until this child's older. And I can't do it all. I've realized I'm not super mom. I can't do it all. Other moms could do it all. It's amazing. But just for me, that wasn't even close to balance. And it was having physical repercussions. So at that point, I really decided, yeah, I want to be a full-time stay-at-home mom for this child and any other child moving forward.
Oh, I love that though. Well, there's parts of it I don't love, obviously, like the stomach ulcers and things. And it's crazy because I found myself in a similar situation too, where I just like went into deep depression. Literally, I had to take, Lexapro because my body was like, this is not it for me. And it's crazy though, because I think so many people, especially if you don't have something so visible, right? Like, or so physical, but a lot of the time you can still feel it in your body when you're not in the right place, when you're not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. Like you feel it in your demeanor every day and the way that you see the world, right? And sometimes it manifests itself in the form of stomach ulcers and depression,
Exactly. I think you have to pay attention to when your body is talking to you. I think disease really breaks down to dis-ease. And
Yep.
so the only time we have illness in our body outwards really is when something is not going right on the inside. So when people need to pay attention to why am I getting headaches so much, or why am I so tired, or why do I seem so stressed all the time, and if they really kind of pay attention, they might want to start making those changes for sure.
Yeah.
So
No, that's so true. And it's so funny. I just got on a call with a relatively new mom. Her kid's 4 years old, and we were talking about how mothership, motherhood
it is the
really
mothership.
changed her. Yeah, right. Really changed her. But she was like a super go-getter entrepreneur, all of that. And then she had a kid and she was like, wow, like my whole like outlook on life is so different. And I know for me, part of why I'm like doing all the things right now and hustling hard and building these streams of income and building my wealth through real estate is so that when I do have kids, I have the choice, right? Like, I don't have to work if I don't want to. I don't have to hustle every day if I don't want to. If I want to, like, all of my attention into raising my kids, I can, right? And I think that's the struggle for so many people is like they feel like they don't have a choice. And that's what real estate gives you. It gives you that ability to choose.
Absolutely. And you always have a choice. You always have a
Yes.
choice.
True. Okay.
What are you going to do with the results of the choice?
Yes.
Like, it doesn't feel like you have a choice. Sometimes you got to get creative. But sometimes if you do kind of pay attention and sort of don't just say, I have no choice. I have to do it. What if you kind of reverse engineer it and say, I cannot do this anymore?
Yeah.
Then sometimes you really kind of stop and sit still and really think, what could I do to make that choice? I was very lucky that I made that choice. My husband was very supportive. He said, sure, of course, no problem. At the same time, we made a global move back from Australia to Canada. So that was a huge thing. And I lived with my parents when we first moved back after a big global move. And he started working. And so that was like very helpful. But then we became homeowners. And I was out to here with number two. And that's when my parents are like, get out of here. See you later.
Oh my gosh.
And we were also
So
very
funny.
lucky that he had a sufficient amount of savings. So we were ready to get started in being homeowners. But for those years as a stay-at-home mom, I did work as a teacher part-time just to get out 2 days a week or whatever, supply teaching. And that gave me a lot of flexibility and freedom, which was very important to me. But during those times, my mother always taught me the woman has to manage the money in the household. And so always manage the money. So I was the one that was in charge of all the money, the budgeting, and together we were kind of figuring out what we should do. And we were so young. Like when we bought our first house, Olivia, you don't understand how ignorant, like I look back now and I think, oh my goodness, like our real estate agent had to sit us down, and it was obviously a family friend who's the real
Yeah.
estate agent, my best friend's sister. And she's like, well, now we got to get something called a mortgage. So we have to go, and we're going to use a mortgage agent. And now we're going to get a home inspector. And
Yeah.
they're going to, and we were just like, oh, wow, like
Completely. Because
this
how
is
old
so
were you
new
when you
to
bought your
us.
first house? How old were you when you bought your first house?
We would have been 28 years old.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's like I bought my first one at 26. So, to be fair, I was less clueless because I had gotten my real estate license and I'd helped other people buy properties first because I was trying to pay off debt. But yeah, it's like I remember getting my real estate license and being like, I don't know how this works. I don't even understand really what real estate is.
Yeah. I did not understand how even buying a house worked. We did
Yeah.
it. And then we realized how much mortgages cost and property
Mm-hmm.
tax and all this stuff. And in Ontario, where we live, where I was as an A1 qualified teacher, it's A4 or A1, the best, because I had a master's degree, you walk into a six-figure salary, basically. It's not,
Yep.
teachers are paid very well. And it was almost like a financial suicide situation where we knew that we were forfeiting like a six-figure income.
Yeah.
And so it really made me cognizant of what we were doing and how to steward the money. My husband was making great money, but there was never enough.
Yeah.
And together we tried to learn things the traditional way. We got a financial planner. We bought term life insurance. We started saving for retirement the traditional way. And our kids' RESPs and those sort of things. But we really didn't know what we were doing. We were just crossing our fingers and hoping the set it and forget it was going to be okay. In 2008, it was not okay.
Yeah.
All of our savings and hard-earned stuff just went away overnight. We realized, and my husband was getting very, very aware of being taxed. We're very tax heavy here in Canada. And he
Yeah.
was working so hard, trading time for money, loving his job, doing whatever. But when you're taxed almost at a 50% tax rate,
Yeah.
he was just like, what am I working for? Who am I working for?
Yep.
We need to do something different. We're going to start investing in real estate. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And I always thought investing in real estate was reserved for the wealthy. And I didn't know how mortgages worked. I thought that people had to buy homes outright or you
Yeah.
had to buy the house next door. I didn't know anything about it. And once we started getting into it and took time to educate ourselves and learn more about it, that's when just everything changed for us. So.
Yeah, so I guess what type of properties did you start off with? And like, I'm curious to see how that's progressed over time as well.
Oh, our model has changed so much. So when we started buying properties, our very first property we bought was a ski rental in Blue Mountain, Ontario, which is an area that I grew up skiing. And so for us, we made the first mistake, which was we just did it because we were familiar with it. We were familiar with the area and it was personal. We're like, oh, we could use it and
Yeah.
ski and but use it at the same time. It was like sort of 1 foot in, 1 foot out investing. And
Yeah.
you really shouldn't do that in investing. You know, it's either business or it's personal, and that's
Well, I
that. But
think
that was our
that's the thing. It's like you have to decide what you want it to be. Like,
Yeah.
do you want it to be a real like investment property, cash flowing, really focused on appreciation? Or are you buying it more as a lifestyle thing, which is okay too. Like it's great as well to have, a property that mainly pays for itself, but also you can vacation in too. But if your goal is, I want to quit my job, then no, don't do that.
Exactly. Well, I think it was kind of just like a gateway drug, real estate property, if you call it
Yeah.
that way. We just kind of
And that's
eased
so
into it.
true. Yeah, that's the thing too, is I think everyone gets so bogged down on the first property. And for me, I'd rather be like, just buy something. Just get
Yes.
started, buy something. I don't even care. Like, yes, like, we can optimize strategy, but if you're just nervous, buy anything. Like, obviously try not to buy something that's really going to put you in the hole, but just buy something.
It's okay to make mistakes in real estate investing. Like you have to be okay to, because in real estate investing, learning is through doing. Now that's why we have our mentorship, our coaching, whatever you have your mentorship coaching. Working with coaches like us, you could eliminate your margin for error substantially. Because I wrote a book, Real Estate Mistakes, $1 million of mistakes our first
I
few
love
years
it.
as full-time investors. It's impossible to not make mistakes while you're doing it. And while you're learning, no one was investing in real estate at that time. There was no groups. No one was there really to help us. We ended up getting 2 more properties in Northern Ontario because my husband's from a small rural town in Western Australia. And my mother was originally from the small town in Northern Ontario. And we started off our journey buying $40,000 homes, single family, and renting them out for $1,000 a month.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's
So
great.
well, it was really, really good until it wasn't. But we continued that way for a few years and then
when was the
converted it
point
into
where it
apartment
wasn't?
buildings. Sorry?
I'm curious, when was the point where it wasn't?
The point when it wasn't was, see, the problem was we thought we had a good model and we were only focused on this particular area. Aside, so we kind of segued with the ski rental, and then we started focusing more on this particular area, which was like 7 hours away from us in Northern Ontario. And when it was good, it's because a lot of mining was happening. We thought we had an area with very strong economic fundamentals, but they were not. And the government changed. At one point, all roads led north. There was a huge demand for housing. People were paying a lot of money. People were making a lot of money working in the mines, and they
Yep.
were just renting out these homes. And I mean, our cash flow was almost $500 a property. This was
Yeah.
$40,000. We're buying homes just $6,000 down.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
we had so many of
You're like,
them.
this is great.
We thought this was fantastic until the government changed. And all of a sudden it went into a liberal government. They shut everything down. Roads did not leave north anymore. Everyone left town and we had vacancies. The prices went down.
Yeah.
The property management
It
team
went
went
down from
bad.
40,000.
Yeah. Well, we
Wow.
were actually even increasing them too. Like what we were doing,
Yeah.
a lot of them as well was flips. And we were also doing like increasing value adds and strategically refinancing as well. And even the property management team went bad. They were actually running our buildings into the ground on purpose so they could
Oh
try to,
boy.
like, oh, you don't want to invest here anymore. We're going to buy these out from under you. And it took us a while to kind of realize that we had a lot of properties. We probably had over 100 properties.
Oh my gosh.
And a huge portfolio that it took us years to offload and get out of there. And that mistake really was just not really, like, we thought we had a solid area, but in reality, it was just there was only really one main industry, and it was just too far away from our major city centers. Yeah, it's very sad when, here in Toronto where I live now, if you have a new employer come to the area, you could have like 5,000 jobs, 10,000 jobs.
Yeah.
A new employer would go to that area and maybe it would bring like 6 jobs to the area or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So,
No,
yeah.
that's really hard. But so then you said you transitioned into apartment buildings.
Well, we took that model, the door model
Yeah.
from 40,000 a door, and transitioned it into apartment buildings. So after we got these 3 courses, we then went and did some real estate investment education.
Yeah.
And we spent a lot of money on this education. And we spent a lot of time on this education too. I think we did 6 in-person courses and a mentorship.
Yeah.
And we had 3 small kids at this time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it was
I'm
pretty.
curious to know because I think like people don't realize how much people are investing in themselves, right? Like I'm curious, just even from a financial standpoint, like how much would you say during that time period you invested into your own personal education?
I spent over $100,000.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of money. And everyone out there, if anyone, like, that's a lot of money.
100%.
$20,000 is one thing. $100,000 is another thing. And it was okay. So what happened is it was really great education. We kind of fell for the free seminar. We thought it was like Robert Kiyosaki was going to be there, and he wasn't. And he licensed these out, so this hasn't had anything to do with him.
Yeah.
And then we went to a 3-day seminar where you paid like a couple $100s, and it was interesting. We learned all these new things. We're all hyped, but our notebooks were like half-filled strategies. And if you want the other half, you have to pay the big price tag. And
For
it was
sure.
just the tricks, like, oh, run your credit cards up, and all these things, like these little challenges. And at the end of it, the pressure was so high. There's so many different credit cards, so much debt. The pressure is so high. But the thing with my husband and I just feel sorry for the people who are in the room who didn't do anything with this education.
Yes.
We did it in 6 months. We did all 6 courses twice and a mentorship. In
100%.
person. Like, we pulled out the calendar, we made it happen. So if anyone thinks
Yeah.
you don't have time or money or anything.
With
Like,
3
it's
kids.
not true. Yeah, 3 kids, and I think I was expecting my daughter too
Yeah,
at the same time. Um,
for
so
sure.
it
And
was
so
insane, but we
I think
did it.
it's important to touch on that though, because I think a lot of people get really nervous about investing in themselves. But I always tell people you don't want to invest in yourself from a place of scarcity, right? Like you want to invest in yourself because you know deep down inside that this is what you were meant to do. Like I remember even when I signed up for my very first coaching program, it was like $6,000, which at the time I thought was insane. I was like, oh my gosh, what? That's crazy. But like something in me just knew. Honestly, I'm not nervous because this is where I'm supposed to be. Like I know I'm meant to be doing something else. I know I'm meant to be doing more. And I'm going to get in there and take advantage of every single last bit of it, you know? Yeah.
You have to invest yourself. If you're not growing, you're dying. And without this education, we didn't know what to do. We had these 3 properties at one point, and we're like, what's the next step? There must be a step. When we went to the 3-day course, we learned all these systems. We need to do the next investment. Then we started doing these courses. They were great courses. And we not only did the courses, but we were learning 6 different strategies. And we
Yeah.
were doing the strategies while we were learning.
Yeah.
So if we were learning about lease options, we were doing lease options.
Yeah.
If we were learning about flipping, we were flipping. If we were learning about commercial, land development, like we did over 100 deals our first year as real
Oh my
estate
gosh.
investors and carried that on through 2 and 3. And that is not a good thing.
Yeah.
That is what led to $1 million of mistakes. We did too much, too soon for everyone, everywhere. I was wholesaling. We were like madmen. We
Yep.
weren't sleeping. I certainly wasn't parenting.
Yeah.
I say in our book, Real Estate Mistakes, I gave up an epidural so I could stand by a fax machine. Yes, there were
Oh
fax
my
machines back
gosh.
then because we had a deal in contract.
Oh my
Like it
goodness.
was just so exciting, so fun. There was so much going on. I didn't even realize we were sinking. Fast forward a few years later, 3 years of unfiled tax returns and about 3 different corporations. We're like, someone finally told us, listen, you need to just stop. You're
Yeah.
making so much money, but you're losing so much money.
For
You
sure.
didn't even know at this point.
Well,
And
that's the problem. And that's the issue that I have with like marketing that's around like, I scaled to 100 doors in 2 years. And I'm like, do you understand the chaos,
yeah,
chaos that probably ensued in order to scale like that? And that's why I'm so much more like small and mighty portfolio. Like, especially if you're trying to do it for your lifestyle more than anything else, small and mighty portfolio, focus on high cash flowing properties. I'd much rather have 5 doors that crush it and do $2, $3, $4,000 a month plus versus
yes.
100 doors that each do $100, you know?
Thank you. Thank you for saying that because most of them do that.
Yeah.
And you know what our advice is for people today? For the everyday person, I say all Americans need real estate in their portfolio. All Americans, all Canadians, all Australians, wherever you are, you need real estate in your portfolio. But all you need is 3 things. You need a primary residence to live in. You need 1 to 3 boring buy, rent, hold properties. And you need 1 property for cash flow. And
Yeah.
those 3 properties can make you a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
Because that
Completely.
house, you could turn it from a liability into an asset by strategically refinancing it, using those funds from the house, and that's how we got started, to buy an investment property in a great area, great high growth area that's only going to go up over the years as tenants pay down the mortgage. And if you're saying, oh, well, my housing area is expensive, or you're saying, oh, well, that wouldn't work in my area for single family, that's where you need to learn what investment model would work in this
Yeah.
area. Maybe I need 2 units, maybe I need 5, maybe I need to do a conversion, and so people are going to need education and coaching, but there's a lot better coaching. I'm sure the coaching services that you provide, that I provide, are very, very specific, and they're for people who will really kind of hold their hand and show them how to do it rather than introducing them to 10 strategies that you don't need. I would focus on the 1 strategy and help them pick that strategy that they do need. And that really could help people fund their retirement too, that property, and help pay for kids' schooling.
Well, I like what you even said too, because I think everyone gets so bogged down because it's what you see on social media. You're like, well, everyone's saying to get 100 doors, so I guess I'm going to do that. Everyone's saying a house hack, so I guess I'm going to do that. Everyone's saying to get short-term rentals, so I guess I'm going to do that. It's like, no, no, no. You have to figure out what's going to work for you.
Yeah.
at the end of the day. And it's like, depending on the location you're buying in, how much capital you have access to, right? You're not going to follow the exact same strategy as the next person, right? Like, it's going to be tweaked a little bit for you. Maybe it does make sense to get a multifamily, duplex, triplex, fourplex. Maybe it makes sense to just get a really high cash flowing short-term rental for you. But it's like, each person, like, first you need to take a step back and think, what is your goal? And then what is the strategy that's actually going to fit into this goal?
Yeah. How does it fit with your life, not fight with your
Hmm.
life?
Yes.
And having 100 properties is like having 100 kids.
Well, and that's the thing. There are some people that do it. They do it great. They built the great systems and all of that. But you also have to think about how you want to run this. Like, are you trying to build a large corporation? Like, is
Mhm.
that your goal? Or are you trying to travel the world and just, like, there's so many different ways to do it. And like, I can't give you the answer for that. You have to figure that out for yourself.
Yeah, you have to figure out what you want to do with your life and really if it fits with your life. Most people come to me with that puffed out the chest because I was on that 100 property mission. I don't know why.
Hmm.
And the
Yeah.
one reason is people feel like, and this is for the everyday investor as well out there, people who are just starting out, they feel like the way that real estate investing works is you buy a house, then you rent it out, you pay off the mortgage entirely, and then one day you're going to live off the rents. And that's
Right.
when, if you're looking at just the cash on cash return and the rental income, you are going to need 100 properties.
Yes. Completely.
Because it's going to be, or unless you do an accelerated strategy like yourself, like Airbnb or short-term rentals, or I do midterms. Sometimes those strategies can help really double, triple rents.
Yeah.
And it's operated very, very, in a different way. But just for your boring buy, rent, hold investing, that really doesn't work. So usually when people come to me, and some people come and say, "Oh my gosh, I have all these properties and I don't know what to do," or they try to say, "Oh, I have 100 doors." I'm like, "Well, why aren't you a fund at this point?"
Yes.
So
A
our next
thousand
thing would be,
percent.
you should be a fund. You should be having it all
Raising
blanketed
capital.
together,
Yeah.
raising capital, and then why aren't you selling it off if your properties are so fantastic? My main
Yeah.
goal is a $20 million portfolio with 10 solid properties.
Yep. 100%. 100%. No, I love that. And, I kind of want to go back. So, like, when you quit your job and you decided to be a stay at home mom and then invest in real estate, you were in the middle. Did you end up finishing your degree, or
Yeah.
were you still okay? Well, and this is the thing that a lot of people struggle with. So, a lot of people who listen to this are either engineers or lawyers or doctors or in tech or have high paying jobs, and they've spent a long time getting whatever degree it is that they needed to get in order to get their jobs. And so I remember I went through this too, where I was like, I put so much time into getting my engineering degree, but I had to think of, where do I actually want my life to be in 5 years? Because we have this, like, the sunk cost fallacy effect, right? Where it's like, well, I put all this time, I can't let go of it now. It's like, no, it's like what you were saying before. You can choose to do whatever you want. And if you choose to stay, just know that that is a choice, right? That's not like, no one's forcing you to do anything. At the end of the day, we have free will to do whatever the heck it is we want.
Yeah, and that's very powerful too. And I find that, like with engineering, a lot of our students are engineers, and some of them even start leaving their jobs too. Not like, I mean, think jobs are great. Not everyone can
Yeah.
be entrepreneurs. What we mainly focus on is financial freedom, and the best thing is to be able to go to work every day and knowing that you're able to replicate your salary through investments. It's
Yeah.
just creating that investment portfolio so you can help your kids out, you can make more money every month, and you can have a multi-million-dollar retirement. You could do that with 1 to 3 properties, like I said. This is achievable. Now, when you have professionals who come in and, like, say, like doctors and lawyers and all these things, all these like engineers, especially a lot of the engineers that have come in, they are a very nice transfer for land developers, I find.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
they understand the construction, they understand how to build things, how things work, they like the systems, they like the analytics, and they really are able to do a lot to kind of move over and start building their real estate business if they do not want to do engineering anymore. So if
Completely.
people really do want to leave their job entirely and just live off investments, that's possible. If they want to continue working and have that, I can go to work but I know I don't have to be there. That's another great thing. But also people can actually transfer from their profession. I think even I know I have a lot of friends are doctors, and a lot of them even sometimes just want to do something different. And a woman always knows. I do believe, I'm a very firm believer in choice for women. And a woman knows how many kids she wants, what she wants to do. And, if like a woman will decide when they're ready. And you can never tell a woman to decide when they're ready or not. They should be having kids now. They should be having kids later. They should be, working. They should be staying at home. Not everyone could be a stay-at-home mama. Most of my friends, I was one of the few ones. My friends are all professional women. They did not want to stay at home. They were like, no, thank you. This
Completely.
is
And
not
that's where,
for me.
like, I don't know what I'm going, because I've gone back and forth. I think when I was working corporate, I was like, no, I'm going to be I'm going to continue working and all of that. But like, now I just appreciate like quality time with people so much more. And I feel like I've also like put in my time work-wise. I don't think I'll ever like stop working fully, because I always need projects. Like I always need things to do. And even the way that I'm building not just my real estate portfolio, but my business now is like so that it can run without me as well. But that's the beauty, right? That's the beauty of being a real estate investor or being an entrepreneur, is you can build it however way you want. And my biggest value, like thing that I care about, right, is freedom and options. Like that's always what I'm looking for,
And this exact same freedom, time, money, freedom.
Yeah.
I need freedom over my time, no caps with money, and you can make as little as you want, as much as you want. No one kind of puts us in a box sort of thing. And that's the same three things for me: the time, money, freedom. Sometimes I challenge myself and I say freedom really would be the leading force. I think it really is freedom. And like you said, you always have that choice. You always have a choice. It might not be easy, but the choice is there, and we do have free will to really kind of like live the life that we want. And you'll know when you're ready to do things. And if you're a mom and you're working, you're a professional woman, and then you don't have a long mat leave and you take time off and you decide, like, I never thought about it, I just did it, and then realized it halfway through. Pay attention. Try it out. You don't like it, do something else.
Completely.
And there's always a choice there. That choice is always, always there.
No, I agree. Well, this leads really well into our two final interview questions. The first one being, what is your mantra or something that you tell yourself over and over again?
I tell myself a lot of things over and over again.
Pick one or two.
Every day. Well, the best thing I have ever heard, and this was recently, and I swear, if I could look up, I can get up.
Oh.
And I know it's a little bit extreme.
Yeah.
Our economy's been pretty extreme.
Yes, that's true.
If I could look up, I could get up. It's never too late. Like you don't quit, as long as you're there and you're still going at it. You can't lose. You can only lose when you quit.
Completely. Okay. And then what does wealth mean to you?
Wealth to me means time, money, freedom. Time, money, freedom, primarily freedom, really to live the life that you want. It does not actually mean about having a specific monetary value aligned to it. You can have all the money in the world, but if you're chasing money, numbers are finite infinite, and you'll be chasing it forever. And the amount will always go up. You have to figure out what you want, and what you want is going to change in every stage of your life. So you have to stay attuned to really having control and freedom. Invest in yourself so you can live the life you want, and life does not live you.
Completely. Well, this has been wonderful, Monika. Where can people find you? Maybe reach out to you, maybe learn more about RPI Education.
www.rpieducation.com, or follow us on Instagram at RPI Education.
Amazing. Well, this was lovely, Monika, and I know you are going to inspire many.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to Wanderlust Wealth Show. Now, don't forget to follow the podcast, or if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you love this episode, it would literally mean the world to me if you shared this with a friend or a family member or literally like anyone off of the street. Like right now, go ahead, share it so you don't forget, or post it on social media and make sure to tag me. I love seeing what you're listening in on and what you resonated with, and I'm just so freaking thankful for you. I'm so freaking excited for you. I love you, and don't forget, life really doesn't have to be hard.